manufactured. Currently, it is 13% of the exports which are manufactured. Your Excellence, all of the developed nations transformed by industrializing, and industry has always been the escalator sector. Industrialization upgrading has never happened through market forces. The state must go beyond facilitation to incubate industries, and we thank you for guiding us to do exactly that here at Kiira. The market, Your Excellence, gave all of the industrialized nations unambiguous signals that they should not promote the industries they dominate today. So whoever had doubts in what is being done here, I think literature and empirical studies have an answer. For example, when Toyota attempted to export its first car to the US in 1958, that ambition flopped. And many Japanese economists and politicians urged the government of Japan to stop wasting money in a wrong industry and stick to silk production. Today, imagine a world without Toyota. The same can be said of Samsung and Hyundai in South Korea, Nokia in Finland, and many others. For that, therefore, Your Excellence, we thank you for your consistent commitment and resolve, sparing decades to promote industrialization. Your Excellency, when you created the PCF in 2021, you directed us to convene biannual fora to listen to the business CEOs and address their challenges. In the last 3 retreats, which my chairman has already mentioned, the private sector raised a number of issues, some of them of policy nature, others operational. I need to report, Your Excellency, that we have addressed most of the issues they raised. I'll mention a few of them here. First one, enforcement of local content. The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development has used the Budget Call Circular, which is a powerful policy guide in government, to direct accounting officers to implement local content in line with the law. As a result, the share of local content in the value of government contracts has increased from 51% in 2020-21 to 77% in 2022-23. Number 2, they also requested that we expedite and streamline electronic government procurement so that we can make our procurement more transparent and also less cumbersome. Your Excellency, we have operationalized the electronic government procurement, and so far 36 ministries, departments, and agencies have been enrolled. And we are progressing in enrolling all other government agencies. And the World Bank has assessed our EGP platform and found it the best in this region. However, Your Excellency, we still have some challenges in the procurement law, which we've already discussed with you, and you have promised to address some of them. The third one is on alternative dispute resolution on commercial disputes. Your Excellency, government has operationalized a Center for Arbitration and Dispute Resolution with the judiciary as a cheap alternative to resolving all of those issues of commercial nature. We have also implemented the electronic case management information system in government, particularly in the judiciary, to ease filing and tracking of cases. And also, Your Excellence, the judiciary has recruited more judges in the commercial court. Recently, you appointed more 10 judges who are going to add to the 8. Also, the bankers, Your Excellence, have been helped to enforce court orders on foreclosures, where you listened to the Uganda Bankers Association and immediately directed the government to issue a circular to rectify the issue they had. A huge portfolio has been unlocked as a result of that. Your Excellence, on establishment of export credit insurance facility, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, through a project called Invite, this is a project for investment for industrial transformation and employment, a $200 million project, is now working with the Uganda Bankers Association to establish a 1 trillion shilling regional export credit facility, which the private sector will be able to take advantage of, to export to troubled destinations in DRC and other areas. The other concern, Your Excellence, was access and cost of capital, as well as banking facilities in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Government has capitalized the UDB, Your Excellence, with a total of 1.295 trillion. I'm told my time is up. I'm going to summarize now. Thank you, Chair. We have, Your Excellence, capitalized UDB by 1.295 trillion, and UDB has worked on the concerns of private sector, on slow processing of loans, and also introduced a business development service process to help the business people to prepare bankable proposals to limit the time. On the DRC, Your Excellence, the Post Bank is in the process of setting up a branch at Impondwe, and then inside the Congo, once their capitalization requirement is addressed. We have also addressed the operational issues in the process, especially those which are tax-related. In conclusion, Your Excellence, as a result of your interventions, the manufacturing sector has recovered and grown quite faster. Manufacturing exports have re-emerged. In 2022, sugar alone brought in $163 million, cement $87 million, steel products $72 million, plastics $61 million, soap $30 million, and beer $29 million. All of these, Your Excellence, were at zero in 2006. We were not exporting any of those. With that, Your Excellence, there is a longer list of what we've done with the PCF. We thank you for guiding us. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the speakers all promised to keep time. The one I will probably find difficulty with will be under your guidance, since they're your ministers, Your Excellency, those ones you will deal with them. But I also wanted, and since the PSST was sharing the actions taken, Your Excellency, all the ministers, key ministers, especially for the CEOs who are here, Your Excellency, because the trade minister and his state minister are here, the energy minister is here, the finance minister is here, and of course, your very own the science, technology, and innovations minister are here. I don't think there's anybody we needed beyond the ones who are here, because even the one who manages them, the prime minister, she's also here. So, Your Excellency, whatever directive you give here, for us, we know where to go. Immediately, you pronounce yourself. I'm speaking on behalf of the CEOs. But I thought CEOs you'd clap for that. Me, I'm helping you take action. Your Excellency, I also needed to mention that, again, PCF, with the support of the Ministry of Finance, ensured that all the Ugandans, the 45 billion, can see what's happening here, and this is being broadcast live on UBC. So the rest of Uganda is in Busoga right now, watching and witnessing this retreat and the interaction that is ongoing. Your Excellency, I now take the pleasure of inviting the Vice Chair of the Board, Emmanuel Katongole, to come and raise the emerging issues from the retreat that started yesterday.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers, all of your friends, captains of business and industry, good afternoon. Your Excellency, I'm going to present to you the resolutions from yesterday's deliberations, which centered on e-mobility. But before I do this, Your Excellency, I'd like to say a word of thank you on two issues. First of all, Your Excellency, my Chairman Barbara and I briefed you last week on the achievements and how your directives have been implemented. In the last 3 retreats, we've categorized the resolutions into 19 major resolutions, where you gave directives, handed over to the Right Honorable Prime Minister, worked with the Minister of Finance, and out of the 19 resolutions, 18 have been implemented. That is over 90%. By any standards, that is a first class. The second issue, Your Excellency, is your recent travel to Russia and Serbia. We followed you in real time, particularly watching you on UBC and NBS television. About 99% of your speeches were talking about business and the economy. Thank you so very much, Your Excellency. I was particularly touched with your meeting with President Putin, when you spent time talking about this very place, Kiira Motors, on how we can develop our lithium into batteries, on how we can develop our own charging system, how we could develop our coffee from beans into a finished product. That is the leadership we've come to appreciate from you, Excellency. Thank you is not strong enough. Tweyanziza nnyo mukama waffe, tweyanzeege. Weebale nnyo, weebalire ddala. Saba President, tusiima bwongerwa. Your Excellency, the first resolution was on zero import duty and zero VAT on electric vehicle production, machinery and equipment, together with the production parts and materials of charging systems. PSST has assured us that this is being implemented right away. The second resolution, Your Excellency, is to put in place an e-mobility tariff for commercial and charging stations for public use to catalyze the deployment of e-mobility solutions. The third resolution, Your Excellency, is to improve the human capital, human resource capacity in the automotive economy. And there were a number of issues that were discussed. Your Excellency, we've given the details of these resolutions to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Omukyalo oyo gwe watuwa is a real fisherman. We particularly talked about scholarships. Your Excellency will request you that any government scholarship goes into areas that we cannot attain in our country. Scholarships to teach business, to teach accounting, to teach, those are things we can ably handle in our country. But the fourth industrial revolution has come. Those are the things we want our students to go and study. Like you did for the oil industry. We are now top in the world. Your Excellency, I'm trying to summarize issues on human capital. I'll stop there because the Prime Minister has the majority of them. Let me go to number 4. Your Excellency, we have a resolution to put in place and enforce regulations and standards to ensure safety, environmental protection, and eliminate substandard products in development and use of e-mobility solutions. We have the 5th resolution is to prioritize the electrification of the government fleet to provide an off-take demand for e-mobility. I believe if this is done with your directive, my God, a lot will be achieved. Your Excellency, the 6th resolution is to put in place a comprehensive e-mobility awareness program to highlight the opportunity e-mobility presents as a catalyst of industrialization. The 7th resolution is to address the high energy cost and grid reliability to support manufacturers, especially in the iron and steel industrial value chain. Your Excellency, the 8th resolution is to explore a single-digit interest rate at UDB with at least 10 years payback period to provide affordable financing to value chain actors. The 9th resolution, Your Excellency, is to review the current East African Community Common External Tariff as it favors importers of wire rods. The wire rods are 70% of semi-finished goods, but are zero rated. While coal, the raw material used in the iron ore smelting, attracts withholding tax and value-added tax. The 10th resolution, Your Excellency, is that there is need to recognize outstanding investors and entrepreneurs like me. In Uganda, 3 initiatives like the authorization of economic operator program at Uganda Revenue Authority and giving us access to VIP treatment when we are traveling. Your Excellency, the last resolution is that businesses often have to submit the same information to different agencies in different formats and by other means. Data sharing among these agencies, as well as standardization of formats, could decrease the bureaucracy and burden of business. Your Excellency, tukwagala nnyo, ebisigadde bibyo, tweyanziza nnyo tweyanzeege.
bana abasoga Emmanuel Katongo litumuongere engalo bana engalo. Thank you very much, Vice Chair. Vice Chair, Your Excellency, was aware that a lot of the other stakeholders who are here to speak directly to these directives, and he and the team have formally handed over the resolutions to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister is aware of the resolutions of this fourth biannual retreat. Your Excellency, I also know that General Wamala is here, Transport and Works, a very nice, very important, critical component of our conversation today, because the vehicles must drive on some form of road, Edward, right? Your Excellency, before we listen to the testimonies, because we are going to listen to testimonies, because this is a conversation about the private sector that is in the room. Your Excellency, the CEO forum, the board members visited, in the last 2 months, visited 2 manufacturers. They went to 3 manufacturers, actually. They went to Tembo Steel. Tembo is here, please stand for recognition. And they were received gracefully. They wanted to understand the problems Tembo is facing. Please sit. They also visited your very own Muzukuru from Mutuma Cotton. Mutuma is here. I think Edwin should be here. Yes, Mutuma. Edwin is there. And they also visited roofing. The most recent, I think, was roofing. So I know Message is here. Okay. Thank you. Roofings. And then steel and tube. Steel and tube, please stand. There you go. So, Your Excellency, this was really in follow-up of the conversation you've been having on Ugandans being able to process our very own iron ore, but also trying to understand the challenges this sector is facing. But they're not the only ones here. If I go without mentioning some others, my brothers will kill me. The steel industry is well represented. Uganda Bati is represented here. I know they will also complain if I didn't recognize them. So there is competition in that sector, which is very good for the industry, Your Excellency. I take the pleasure of inviting your very own Muzukulu, Your Excellency. She has changed names since the last retreat. So she's no longer Ruth, she's now Aisha Kasolo. So I invite Dr. Aisha Kasolo to come and take us through the testimonies.
Your Excellency, Your Excellency, you are welcome, and I would like to also appreciate our Prime Minister and the ministers present. Ladies and gentlemen, before I give my remarks, I would like to request you to stand up, and we give the President an applause, and I will tell you why, and then you clap again. Let's stand up. Now, I want to tell you why. We told His Excellency, the time we last met, that he needs to dedicate more time to us. And we gave him a directive. You know, he normally gives directives. But this time around, we directed him that he must come here. And he accepted. And he's going to the north, he's going to the west, and he's going to the central. So why don't we clap for him for accepting our directive? You may now sit. So, Your Excellency, I just wanted to ensure that you listen from a few members from the private sector that we've been able to get to. I don't have a lot of time, so those that I'm going to invite, I'll just give them 2 minutes, and I'll take away my microphone after that. So I want to start with Tembo Steels. Your Excellency, we went to Tembo Steels. It's a very exciting story, and I want to invite Mr. Manish to come in and speak to you. Why is it very important? Because Tembo Steels is one of the largest in the sub-Saharan Africa. They have some history to talk about. They are the largest consumer of power in Uganda. So the largest umeme bill payers are here. And I don't want to say what they have to tell you.
In 2 minutes. I will cut short, no problems at all. Good afternoon, our Honorable His Excellency the President, dignitaries, eminence, elegance, and excellence of society, all protocol observed. We would like to introduce ourselves as the most diversified and integrated steel company in Africa, covering all 4 verticals of steel through primary route. Tembo truly believes in the vision of our President to add value
in every commodity to realize the ultimate potential of any goods and services. We are given a constructive task to minimize import dependency in the steel sector, committed to deliver 100% self-sufficiency in steel and to make our country net surplus in forex earning within a given time frame. Tembo leverages synergistic approach of a fully integrated facility that is also environmental friendly. There are two principal integrated routes of producing primary steel. Blast furnace route that generates 2.2 tons of carbon dioxide every ton of steel produced. Second one is DRI, scrap to electric furnace route, which vastly minimizes CO2 emission by 70%. The countries adopting DRI scrap electric furnace routes are USA 70%, Italy 80%, Spain 70%, Middle East 94%. Tembo also adopt the same route of cleaner steel making right here in Uganda. We are looking to build a futuristic modern steel plant that is environmental friendly and adopt a leaner, more innovative, efficient manufacturing processes. We aim to be globally competitive with the greatest emphasis on loyalty, affordability, and quality. Some of the highlights worth mentioning are Uganda's only primary steel producer with largest product portfolio in Africa through integrated route. First company in the world to convert cast iron into liquid low carbon steel. First company in the world to produce 0.7 millimeter hot roll sheet through continuous configuration. World lightest hot roll section through direct casting and rolling. First bullet caster in Africa. First 10 stand wire rod block mill in East Africa. Our passion for steel and never-ending quest of learning and improving will certainly lead to more global benchmark in the steel industry. Our main vision remains 100% import substitution and making Uganda self-sufficient in steel, starting from liquid steel, not solid steel. Solid steel means import dependency and must be avoided. We need to break the old tradition and should start from locally sourced raw material and manufacturing the entire value chain here in Uganda through liquid steel, resulting in 100% foreign exchange gain. Tembo Steel is from rock to metal and is a pioneer working toward country's economic growth first and foremost. We require your support through policies to help us get our vision, not for the company, but for the country. It should always be consume what you produce what you consume. Thank you so much.
So, thank you very much. Just as Mutuma comes, just more hand clap for them. Why? Because they are the only Uganda's primary steel producer from rock to steel. Hear this. They are the first company in the world to convert cast iron into liquid low carbon steel. In Uganda, it's a Ugandan company. It's also the first company in the world to produce 0.7 millimeter hot roll sheets through continuous configuration. And it is the world's lightest hot rolled section throughout direct casting in the world. That's big. I think you heard them, and I think the PSST is also handling their issue. Mutuma, please come. Mutuma is a product of UDC and UDB. So, Your Excellency, I think when we were in Chankwanzo, we had a lot of issues on UDC and UDB, but now we have positive feedback. There has been a lot of improvement. Mutuma, come and tell your story. Everywhere in Uganda, Your Excellency, you find industrial cotton. It is by Mutuma. Please share your story.
Your Excellency, the President of Uganda, the Prime Minister, Ministers present, MPs present, distinguished ladies, guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Edwin Mwesije. I'm the CEO of Mutuma Commercial Agencies. We are the producers of high-quality cotton wool that is for hospital use. Your Excellency, I'm the person you refer to as the small boy in Luka, adding value to cotton. And they're doing great things there. Your Excellency, I want to report to you that in June, national medical stores have started buying our cotton wool. Our cotton wool we produce is being consumed by national medical stores. Through your guidance, Your Excellency, we've been able to achieve this. We appeal to Your Excellency to give us more support so that we can add value to more of the cotton, especially in producing yarn. It's a big investment. we appeal for your support, Your Excellency. Also, Excellency, the cotton subsector is not supported at all. It's being supported by the private sector, especially GNAs. We contribute money to support our farmers in buying inputs like fertilizers, seeds, and also training grounds. So, Excellency, we kindly appeal to you to support us in this, for government to partner with private sector to support our farmers. And also to regulate the importation of animal feeds, especially cotton seed cake. Your Excellency, we find it hard to sell our cotton seed cake. Why should we import animal feeds, yet we can produce our own here? So we appeal for intervention, Your Excellency. And that's all I can say for now.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Busoga is known for sugarcane, and I would like to invite Mr. Taka Mugogo from Busoga region, where you please just come in for 2 minutes and raise your 2 issues. Meanwhile, Mr. Paul Sigombe is also coming in. Please hurry.
Your Excellency, Honorable Prime Minister, ministers around, all CEOs, protocol observed. Your Excellency, my name is Taka Mugogo. I'm a sugarcane farmer, and we want to venture into sugarcane processing. Your Excellency, we have got 4 issues we want to bring to your attention today. 1, Jinja from inception was designed as an industrial hub for the entire Eastern region and East Africa. Your Excellency, the districts of Jinja and Kamuli are working together to ensure that we expand this facility as a business and an industrial hub. The 2 councils have agreed to swap the land use for part of this forest so that it moves to Kamuli, and this one becomes an industrial park to service this center here, and also service the processing and value addition of all products produced in Busoga. Your Excellency, we pray that if you bless this idea, then we shall be in position to have all our goods here processed and all our youth employed locally here. Your Excellency, number 2, as sugarcane farmers, we thank you so much for keeping your word to provide us with a private, farmers-owned integrated sugarcane processing factory. Your Excellency, money is already at UDC to start on the works, and this integrated factory, Your Excellency, will help us to exploit the entire value chain of sugarcane so that nothing is wasted, from the leaves to everything. This will include production of ethanol. The theme of this conference today is clean energy. So we believe with ethanol, if we blended it in petrol, it will do a great job towards cleaning the energy. Your Excellency, this one is facing a few mishaps. Parliament passed the Sugar Act and the Biofuels Act. Your Excellency, these 2 acts are not operational to date. We pray that you help and they get operational so that we can achieve the objective of these 2 acts and the entire thing. Point number 3, Your Excellency, we are praying that as government plans to implement the SGR line, we pray it considers the refurbishment of part of the Busoga line which can service this business and industrial park. This will serve Kiira Motors here, Kakira Sugar Works, which is next door there, and all other upcoming industrial developments in this sub-region. Your Excellency, point number 4 is that in the long run, government should put in its plans to establish a ring road and rail network along Lake Choga, as this will enable a quick connectivity from Bugwere, Bugisu, Teso, Busoga, Lango, Uganda, and Bunyoro region. If these places are interconnected, Your Excellency, then all that we shall be processing and producing around will be easily distributed within ourselves so that we can start marketing our own products to ourselves. Thank you, Your Excellency, and members around.
Okay. Now for the Bugisu region, Bukedi and Sebei, I would like to invite Mr. Paul Sigombe and James Nitaiseli. Please come together, and you're able to raise your issues as well.
Thank you. Your Excellency, all protocols observed. I speak for Bukedi, but basically what I'm going to talk about is agriculture, and it's cross-cutting. We are concerned about the inputs we receive in this country, mainly the agricultural inputs, and also the clean materials for production for the 3 strategic crops which the ministry has identified. We know we are using a lot of chemicals on our products, or our fruits, or our vegetables, and I'll let you know, members here, all the tomatoes we eat, they are all poison you are eating. So we are advocating for biotechnology. I personally deal in biotechnology, and our issues are that we would like to have innovation to support the production of biofertilizers and biopesticides and microbes. The microbes take a lot of time to be prospected and to be recognized so that we can also use them here, because every week we are importing from Holland and Kenya. But these are things we can do here, and with a bit of innovation from the Ministry of Innovation, I think we should be able to produce our own here. We've got other issues we want to raise. I talked about the 3 strategic crops. 3 strategic crops, at the moment, we are planting, for example, herbs, but we are not talking about post-harvest. Very soon we shall end up with having a lot of avocado, but we don't know how to sell it, because post-harvest is very important. Within 8 hours after production, after harvesting, this should be in the cold stores. But the small growers don't have pack houses. So we need some intervention in this one.
Enough.
Thank you very much.
This one is representing over 500 business people from Mbale. Please say your points. Mbale.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Minister, Honorable Ministers, all government officials. I'm the Vice Chairman of Mbale Trade Association. Your Excellency, permit me to mention the 3 sector problems which they gave me to present to you. One of the sector problems is your people dealing in furniture. Furniture is a sector which is employing so many youth in Uganda. But we are importing timber from Congo, and of recent there is a ban of cutting timber in Uganda. So we are requesting Your Excellency that as we import timber from Congo, to reduce pressure on our environment, that either timber also becomes like a raw material like in other sectors, so that when we import, we add value in it, so that we produce and create more employment in the youth. Second problem, Your Excellency, we want to thank you as people of Mbale for industrial park you have given us and granting us a city. But their complaint and your request to Your Excellency that Mbale Industrial Park is producing all their products and are being carried to Kampala, so even the people within the region cannot access the product produced in Mbale and yet they are made in Mbale. So we think that they would have a distributor in Mbale so that the neighboring regions or districts also get access, so that we can reduce on the charm in Kampala by following the products which are produced in the region.
Thirdly, Your Excellency, is about umeme and power in Mbale industrial area, not industrial park, but industrial area where small businesses are run. They have put us on 1 meter, but when 1 or 2 default, they disconnect us for a week, following one individual to pay so that we are all reconnected. And some of the manufacturers have employees. So if 2 or 3 days are passed without production, it's a loss, and some of them are working on time limit, Your Excellency. I want to thank you for that. Those are the few things I represented, all the Mbale Traders Association. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
I think one last one, Karamoja, I got an issue. Lokeris, I don't know where you are, because we came to the region and the issue was that Karamoja is part of the region. Where is Lokeris for border works? Please hurry, hurry, hurry. Your Excellency, as he comes, I want to just reiterate that we want to ensure that the people you employ in the private sector are able to understand what business means. We normally have a lot of issues for them to understand. I think there are a few ministries that appreciate, and I think one of the requirements for somebody to be employed or oriented, that should be added.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency.
It's too tall.
The next time I will not come with my heels. Yes, sir, I am from Karamoja, but with me is my co-founder and Muko. Your Excellency, what has been spoken today in relation to e-mobility is what us Wasukulu decided to do 5 years ago. We are researching and now producing a battery, a lithium-ion battery, that is able to power a boda or two-wheeler on one charge for 170 kilometers. All this is done, Your Excellency, with the help of about 104 engineers and technicians trained here in Ugandan universities that had no opportunity to showcase their ability. Your Excellency, we have had cooperations with big international companies in battery development that have come to see how could a small company in Uganda be able to produce a battery that can actually, run the parameters that I've told you. One of them has been Toyota. We are about to roll out 20,000 electric motorcycles until the next mid-2024. We are already converting about 2,000 as we speak. Your Excellency, I think I will now get my co-partner also to say something since he's a visitor here.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Adding to what my colleague Ben said, we started in 2018 actually with the first electric motorcycle and battery here in Uganda, and since last year we have a commercial product that we are now scaling up. As Ben was saying, we are inaugurating a production line next year in January. If you could grace it with your presence, would be very grateful. 20,000 motorcycles per year, 40,000 batteries per year. And as of today, 110 employees, green jobs, decently paid here in Uganda, 200 jobs by the end of this year, and 900 jobs by the end of next year. I think e-mobility has the potential that we all believe it has. So thank you very much. And yeah, God bless Uganda.
I realize I'm a bit short, Your Excellency, but my session has come to the end. And as I end it, I would like to say, Your Excellency, the issues would have been many, but because you have really able people in the offices, the PSST has been very helpful. That is why most of the issues are not coming. I want to also appreciate our Minister of Finance, who has been to address a number of issues, and our captain, the Honorable Prime Minister, for ably meeting a number of issues. There would have been 1,000. Your Excellency, we are now waiting for you for another region. Here we go, another directive, and I think my chair would be able to let you know the next region where we're going to. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we put again a round of applause for the speakers, all the testimonies? Your Excellency, the 10 minutes is really a compression of what happened yesterday, because they had a long conversation yesterday on these critical issues. But I was excited when the tallest gentleman in the room was speaking. I noticed the bankers in the room started getting attentive, and the bankers now are looking at opportunities, especially the bankers that are here, Your Excellency, that are now providing green funds or green sector funds, because there's a lot of support from the banking sector to this kind of conversation we are having. So the bankers, we appreciate you for joining us. Your Excellency, before I move to our line minister, I wanted to request the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat team to stand for recognition. These, Your Excellency, work within your office, the Office of the President, Science, Technology and Innovations team. That's the Secretariat driving this conversation, Your Excellency, and we want to thank you for supporting them, because they sit in the Office of the President, and of course they are supported by the State House Controller, who is here, Jen Bareche. We want to thank you for making time to be part of this conversation. Thank you so much. I take the pleasure, Your Excellency, of inviting the Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation to come and make her remarks, because she's, of course, the client of NEC, who is the chair of LC1 here. I'll request after her speech to invite the First Deputy Prime Minister, and then I request the First Deputy Prime Minister to invite the Prime Minister, and then I request the Prime Minister, after her remarks, to invite the President.
Thank you very much, MC. Your Excellency, the President, the Republic of Uganda, the Honorable Prime Minister, and Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Members of Parliament present, heads of government, agencies here, the leadership of the CEO Forum, and all the CEOs who are here, the industry captains, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, all those representing the STI fraternity. Your Excellency, we are greatly honored today as the STI, or Science, Technology and Innovation fraternity, the Secretariat and the agencies, the affiliated agencies, they are represented here. The members of the Secretariat have been introduced. I kindly request the agencies to Professor Kwesiga. We have Professor Mranga. I have Professor, the chair of KMC, and UNCST should be here. Those are the agencies which work with the Secretariat to drive the agenda. Your Excellency, I warmly welcome you to this plant, although it is still under General Mugirisi custody, but I can't miss this opportunity, and thank you for selecting this venue for this particular CEO forum. Your Excellency, 2 years ago, I invited you here, and you came and laid the foundation stone for the facility, and since then, we have made very, very significant progress. You've not had a time to tour, but you will when you come to open. But we have made a lot of progress. And I want to thank you and thank the Minister of Finance, who responded at that time and extended extra funding, which has enabled us to push the work. We really so thank you so much, Jaja, for the work. I want to thank the Prime Minister for continuous support all the time, continuously supporting us. Your Excellency, Uganda has made a lot of history in the e-mobility. And some of these are the firsts, where Uganda is historically the first. We are the first, we made the first electric vehicle designed and built in Africa. The Kiira EV in 2011 is the first ever electric vehicle built in Africa. Your Excellency, the President arguably became the first ever head of state recorded to be driven in an electric vehicle. And Your Excellency, your driver, Paul Musasi, is here. He still narrates the experience. The first solar-powered electric bus designed and built in Africa is the Kiira Solar Bus in 2016, built here in Uganda. The first fully electric state bus designed and built in Africa is the Kiira EVS in 2019. And Uganda has become the home to the biggest electric bus production plant in Africa. This is the Kiira vehicle plant, which we hope is going to be commissioned before the end of this calendar year. So, Your Excellency, we wish to really appreciate your continued support and continued focus and belief in this agenda. Kiira Motors is now really, we are really moving, and the machinery for that facility, some of it has started arriving here. The containers are behind there, and a lot of the machinery is at Mombasa. Over the next few weeks, we shall be receiving most of it, and we'll start setting up the manufacturing lines. Your Excellency, Kiira Motors has prepared a business plan, 5 years business plan, which has been cleared by the National Planning Authority. And the business plan is costed at 524 billion Uganda shillings. And I would like to invite the industry chairpersons here, all the CEOs, to take interest in this investment opportunity which has come. Your Excellency, allow me to reference your speech at the reading of this year's national budget on June 15th. I would like to quote, "Now that we have an educated workforce, that we have enough electricity, that we have good roads, that we are building or repairing the railway system, every effort must be made to add value to all our products. Coffee, cotton, timber, cocoa, fish products, gold, iron ore, copper, vermiculite, phosphates, petroleum chemicals, maize, bananas, etc. By doing this, this same economy will jump to 550 billion instead of the mere USD 55.2 billion, laudable though it is. Why? It is because the latter, the USD 55.2, presupposes only a quantitative expansion of our economy through creating more products. My envisioned economy of USD 550 acknowledges the already achieved goal of quantitative expansion, but adds another element of qualitative leap. Your Excellency, you introduced to the STI fraternity the concept of the qualitative leap. And since we have taken a lot of interest in it, we are like the biblical group called the Bereans. They are in the book of Acts in chapter 17. This was a group of individuals. Whenever they listened to Paul preach, they went back and researched and made sure that whatever Paul told them was working. And so, Your Excellency, we have examined many economies that have been at the place where Uganda is, and they are at the takeoff process. And we have identified countries and those which took a certain path the economies continue to grow, but they didn't have the qualitative leap. We have also identified examples of those that took certain activities and actions and they took off. And so we are analyzing, and we have analyzed this and understood that it is the way they positioned science, technology, and innovation as a key driver of the economy which mattered. It made the difference. It's not even what they produced, but how they positioned this key driver. So we have therefore positioned ourselves to listen, to analyze, and to support the qualitative leap. The team that was introduced to you, Your Excellency, the STI Secretariat, is a team that you appointed to do this transition, to position science, technology, and innovation. Your Excellency, we have noted that in many such major transitions, like right now the energy transition, Africa has delegated her thinking to others. And as such, we have been willing to grab the small offerings. However, we have positioned now thinking at the core for us to be able to position science properly to drive our economy. We do not want to continue suffering from the Esau-Jacob syndrome, as recently articulated in the book by Patience. She talked about the Esau and Jacob. Esau was more focused on eating now. Jacob was more focused on thinking how to take what Esau had. And so that we are very, very clear. So through this e-mobility, we are not delegating thinking. We are taking on the thinking. And we are now working with many of our sectors together with National Planning Authority to put thinking and designing of how to put in place the directives and the guidance that you have given us about this qualitative leap. And so we have now resolved that we are going to make Uganda a net source of e-mobility solutions rather than a recipient of technology. Your Excellency, we need to be very alert because at such transitions, many of those who have already been thinking run to us. They run here and they will offer things. And if we are not alert, we will end up blocking our own production. And so we have to be very careful to make sure that we don't get into quick agreements, which we will find ourselves blocked along the way. And so we have put up a very strong coordination for e-mobility. We have coordination at 3 tiers. One, we have an interministerial committee. Because of time, I will not go through the membership, but chaired by STI, but the Minister of Finance, Minister of Transport, Minister of Energy, local government, they are all members at ministerial level. At technical level, we have a National E-Mobility Task Force. This is chaired by Dr. Gerard Banaga Bayingi from the Ministry of Energy. I don't know if he's here. Yes, he chairs and directs the technical committee. And then all these members who have been introduced to you have been organized into a consortium. This consortium, which is divided into 6 clusters, we have those who are doing the research, engineering and development. We have those for supply of energy, then the transport planning, management and operations, including your people from the tax operators and all those, they are part of that. The value chain financing, the policy regulation and standards. We have all these. We have 6 clusters of operations. And these have worked together and developed a strategy, an e-mobility strategy, and many of the requests that have been presented here come from that strategy. Your Excellency, I have forwarded a copy of that strategy to you so that we can have your input, and the priorities are what have been articulated here to make sure, one, we are manufacturing locally. When we open up importation of finished units, we are going to suffocate those who have been working and striving very hard to develop the local market. And therefore, we really need to protect local manufacturing. The establishment of the charging system, still emphasizing technology transfer and local manufacturing. The electrification of the public transport system, and Your Excellency will be working, the Deputy Prime Minister will be detailing one of the initiatives. There is a request of electrifying government fleet. Your Excellency, as we work on producing vehicles, I went with a team of ministers to visit Yosa and Magola at the Dairy Farmer, and we took one of the buses, and the Minister of Transport proposed that we could provide electric buses to take ministers to cabinet, but that will be subject to the Prime Minister's approval. Yes. The local manufacturing of batteries has already been articulated, and Your Excellency, those are part of the consortium. However, I wanted to highlight the efforts that we have initiated in value addition of the minerals that feed into this value chain. We have made progress with research on the hydrogen. Your Excellency, when you directed, we could not find any country or any partners that were willing to share technology. So we decided to start first, and we have already completed the laboratory level hydrogen unit, which can purify iron ore. And we are now working with Yoweri Industries to build one which can produce for us 1 ton per batch. And then we are also working on value addition to the pig iron when we make it, alloying and producing the specialized steels that are required. We are also, have also started work on understanding the lithium extraction value chain. A team of researchers at Makerere is working on that. And we are also working on value addition to sand, silica for glass. We have a partner in Germany who is building our capacity to work on that. Your Excellency, we shall continue conducting research and building the human capital to make sure that we are able to, when you have the human capital, you can attract investors. But when your human people, your capital is illiterate about a particular subject, it's very difficult for these other partners and investors to come in. Lastly, Your Excellency, I would like to request for 1 minute, just 1 minute. One of the daughters in the STI fraternity provided a package of the most recent value-added products from banana, and she wanted to present a gift to you and to the Prime Minister so that you can test what we have turned banana into. And I would like to request for that 1 minute, please, the people with a gift, so that they have checked the one for the president. Is this the one for His Excellency? It is checked. Professor Muranga, please. Move. Did you check the one? Okay. You can. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I would now like to take this honor to invite the First Deputy Prime Minister to come and make her remarks. Thank you.
Excellency, President, tusangaire okubona mu kyalo kyaife eky'emutayi, tusangaire okubona Prime Minister n'abagenyi abandi mwena abakulembeze b'amakolero ne industries tusangaire okubabona. Excellency, kuri abantu baife kantwala omukisa guno okukwebaza kubanga abasiga tubaizanga kwano kukwebaza nga oliwo. Tulikwenda okwebaza okuleeta ekolero ery'amaani mu kyalo kino eky'emutayi. Mpera ano Africa ino edi ekyakyo beta Kiira ne mutayi olwa industry eno kale tulikwenda ino okwebaza. Ekyokubiri, Excellency, tulikwenda okwebaza Minister of Science and Technology kubanga tiimu yeyo asalawo nti Jinja City neither kuba pilot city eya mass transport system in the country. Wanaidinda omusoko kyaita bus park ey'amasanyalaze eiza kuba gano nga eiza kuba ku needda okusabusinga bus za Kiira Motors, epikipiki ez'amasanyalaze, epikipiki ezikolebwa abantu ba buliido, zikola ku charging stations abaana baife bafuna emirimu, kuida kubaako ne local ticketing system jakuba wano mu Idinda abanange mwongere obwala abantu b'ebusoga. Mu ngeri eyo Jinja City will become a model city in Africa for clean mobility and create opportunities for our people to get higher quality jobs. Your Excellency, if the Minister of Finance can do the needful and enough of these vehicles are produced, enough buses, enough motorcycles, then this station will start by the end of the year. So we really want to ask you nti tamwa yongeramu omuliro basobole okutukolera ensonga eno abantu bafuna emirimu. Ndikwenda okukakasa abavuga bodaboda nti tibaida kubagoba mu kibuga epikipiki zaimwe edda buliido bada zikyusa zivedde amasanyalaze. Therefore mwida kufuna emirimu mutatya nti gavumenti ebagobye mu kibuga. So, Excellency, I have noted the issue of the common external tariff, which I shall address within the East African community. I also commit on behalf of my colleagues that we shall follow up on the legislation, on regulations, incentive and harmonization of policies in the region to ensure that East Africa remains the pilot electric mobility area of this continent. With that, I want to invite Dada Ifimajegere, Aida Yogere, Akwet.
Ife alindoko kankomeo.
DJ, some music. Definitely, we only have about a 2-minute window if you must run and do something. This is the only window you have. I highly doubt you will get coffee in 2 minutes, but you can try your luck.
presidential CEO forum embarked on a stakeholder visit to roof. The presidential CEO forum embarked on a stakeholder visit to Roofings Uganda Limited, located in Namamve, with an objective of understanding the challenges and realistic options for supporting value addition in steel industries, and thus enhance cooperation between stakeholders to ensure these industries thrive at national, regional, and international level in order to improve revenues for the sector. Roofings Group offers a one-stop service and diversified product shop for the entire steel and plastic industry in East and Central Africa. The world of Roofings Group is one without boundaries, growing, changing, and challenging, an environment that embraces different skills, continuous innovation, sustainable growth, and a better quality of life.
We are into innovation investment so much. So thanks to the support of the government situation, the more level playing field we establish, more investment would be there. That was number one. Number two, is by law. Our duty is to supply the quality product to the population of Uganda. This is our duty. As an association, we are doing our best. Recently, you've seen the last 3 years. UNDS all is very supportive. Standards are improving in the construction industry, reinforcement parts, and all the products in construction industry improving.
In achieving Uganda's Vision 2040, the focus is on the socio-economic transformation catalysts like with industrialization, commercial agriculture, ICT, and services as enablers for inclusive growth, employment, and wealth creation. According to Uganda's National Planning Authority, a strong integrated iron and steel industry will not only facilitate industrial takeoff of the country, but also lead to saving of forex expenditure, increase employment opportunities, and form a strong basis to support the growth of other sectors through forward-backward linkages.
We are, at the moment, doing our level best to satisfy the local market, and I would say almost 60% of our production is consumed within the local market, and about 40-45% goes to the export market. At times, we would say the export market is actually
let's move in. Hello.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Ministers, the leadership of the CEOs Forum, our technical people, ladies and gentlemen, I want first of all to welcome our President, because he has been there for us since when we started the CEOs Forum. Your Excellency, I want to take this opportunity to thank you. One, for the secure environment that you have given our country for the industrialization and e-mobility to take place. You cannot talk about industrialization now in Sudan, can you? You cannot talk about industrialization now in Ukraine, but here we are. So, Your Excellency, please join me in thanking him for the secure environment. Your Excellency, government, like you have already been told, has implemented 18 out of 19 key policy resolutions that we have had before. And to me, like others have said, this is a plus. And we shall give a token of thanks to those people or the ministries, departments and agencies that have made us do this. And so at an appropriate time, before I invite you, I will request the CEO's Eileen to present this before you. Your Excellency, the number of key policy resolutions that have come up here, and they have been handed over to me as lead of government business. And I want to promise our people present here, the private sector, that these key recommendations will also be implemented like we did in the last forums. Your Excellency, to sustain the Kiira Motors vehicle plant investment and ensure value for money for funds already invested, as you can see, $90 million, according to the information I've got here, has already been invested here. And so, Kiira Motors wants 524 billion Uganda shillings. That translates into $146 million. We have agreed that we phase this into 5 years. This year, we shall provide 60 billion. However, in the budget, we provided for only 20 billion. And that means we need your directive so that the 40 billion can be provided by the Ministry of Finance. Next financial year, we need 132 billion, 2024, 2025, and 188 billion in 2025, 2026, 99 billion in 2026, 27, and 45 billion in the year 2027, 2028. You know the NRM government is still around. This financial resource will complete this plant and enable the corporation to be ready for private sector investment. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister here talked about the Sugar Act. A few weeks ago, the Ministry of Energy tabled the biofuel regulations by the State Minister, Honorable Okeris, to Parliament in order to operationalize the Sugar Act. And I believe this is the way to go. We are moving steadily. Your Excellency, the number of key policy recommendations, and Mr. Katongole elaborated them very well. I don't want to waste your time. However, I thought I should talk about your directive to reduce the power tariff to 5%, 5 cents, to 5 US cents. And following your directive, Your Excellency, government has categorized the industries as follows. 1, extra large. And extra large industries are receiving power at 4.8 cents at off-peak and 6.8 at peak time. Large are currently receiving at 5.7, off-peak, and then 6.8 at peak hours. Medium, they are receiving at 5.7 and 6.8 at peak hours. Small, they are receiving at 5.7 and 6.8 at peak hours. Your Excellency, we are making gradual adjustments towards achieving the 5 US cents per unit as per your directive. However, we are doing it gradually because if we do it once, government may be forced to subsidize, which money we do not have in the budget. Your Excellency, I believe these are the policy recommendations are with you already. And so I want to take this opportunity to invite you to speak to the CEO's Forum now. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, Irene wanted to give the best performers. Maybe we can do this later, after Muzee's speech. Okay, thank you so much.
Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, the CEOs and the chairperson of the CEOs Forum, our daughter Barbara, and all people who are here. Recently, I was in Russia and in Serbia, and there I gave speeches as usual. In Serbia, I pointed out that the whole of Africa today has got a GDP of $2.5 trillion. The whole of Africa. Now, that economy is smaller than the economy of India, which is now 3.3 trillion. It's smaller than Japan, than Germany, which is 4 trillion. Smaller than Japan, which is 4.2 trillion. Of course, smaller than China, which is 17.96 trillion. And smaller than the economy of the United States, which is 25.46 trillion. Now, this is a big shame to African leaders. And these people, they call ministers of finance and planning and all that. So, and this is something we saw when we were students. That's how we started, that was part of our movement in the 1960s. We saw this and we were telling the leaders that time that you are lost, we are lost. You are going to cause a catastrophe here. They didn't listen. They didn't listen. And they were all young people. Those leaders were not really old. All of them were young people, like Obote was 35 years when he became Prime Minister. Mutesa was 30-something. Maybe Nadiopi is the one who was like 42, not old. They were all young people, but they were thinking in a different way and spending a lot of time with the politics of identity, of tribes, of religion, until people like Idi Amin came in and we had now to fight. Now, when we were fighting, again, we put down our views, and that's how we came up with the 10 points program. Security and so on and so forth. Then point number 5 is exactly this, what we were talking about. Building an economy which is integrated, independent, and self-sustaining. Integrated vertically and horizontally. We have been able to achieve some success. That's how the economy has grown almost 37 times from the beginning. But what I'm glad Dr. Museveni has picked it up, the issue of the qualitative leap. Ebyenfuna okubuuka. Ne biva mu okulima amabidde n'ogalekerawo nti olimya amabidde omulala yanaasogola omubisi yanaakola omwenge ate yanaafumba kali akasinga okubatta. So we are saying, you people, why do you only end at growing mabidde, the sour bananas, the bananas for alcohol? Why don't you integrate? Because that's the vertical integration we are talking about. Amabidde, omubisi, omwenge, kali akabakola bubi, waragi. That's vertical integration if you don't want to go very far. But we have been having opposition, not only from external players, but the internal ones, politicians. We bring investors, they come to help us do that. Somebody goes to parliament and starts insulting people, insulting them. Oh, these are thieves, they are what? Now, these days, whatever you say is on the internet. Many years ago, I had brought somebody with Mzee Mruana. My daughter Barbara there knows. Somebody from Thailand. At that time, I was struggling with the value addition to milk. Because we had persuaded your people in the cattle corridor to start joining the money economy by producing milk for sale instead of just milk for drinking at home. And they had come up. But the processing capacity was small. There was like a small, something called Uganda Dairy Corporation, which was producing only 60,000 liters per day at Bugorovi. So this time man wanted to come and build a factory, to take over that factory, expand it, and make it produce milk, but also juice of fruits and so on. He had a very good plan. But my people went to Parliament and started insulting him. So his board, for him he didn't mind, he was still going, but his board, when they looked at, saw it, why do you go to such a country? Don't go, don't go. The man just walked out because of being insulted by people who have no value addition themselves. But cannot allow those who can add value to do it. So I had now to struggle for other years until I got an Indian called Samia. I don't know whether you remember him. Samia, he came, but we had lost time. He expanded that little factory at Bugorovi from 60,000 to 500,000 liters a day. And that's how Uganda was able to have vertical integration in the milk sector. There we have moved. We produce milk at the farm. We are now at 5.3 billion liters from 200 million liters in 1986. And quite a bit of it is processed into liquid milk, pasteurized, liquid milk, ultra-heated, UHT, powder milk, butter, cheese. We are even producing something called casein, which we are selling to the USA, a protein from milk. When that Samir man helped me to do that, then I think Uganda's reputation went up, and other groups came. There are many factories now. I think now we should try to encourage them to go into making baby foods and so on. Now, this is the same project I've been having. So that's one group, the uninformed politicians, some of them being used by parasites to disturb our journey. Then you have the civil servants. Civil servants, and for them they are bamlia biengede. They just eat the little that is there. No capacity to add anything, just eat akaliwo. Like for instance, recently, we have been having a partnership with Amina, the Somali lady, who is producing sugar in Atiak. We gave them money to buy machinery, including earth-moving equipment. Now, our local uninformed people link up with jokers, I don't know from where. There's something they call PPDA Act. Now, that PPDA Act, of course, was made by people who want to buy toilet paper and things like that. which you advertise, who is the cheapest seller of toilet paper? The toilet paper producers come and they compete. Now, these wonderful people will go and put it in industries. Industries are not toilet paper. PPDA. We advertise. But what are you advertising for? Machinery for these factories is made by few people in the world. Like, for instance, even for things like earth moving, for me, I was aware that the makers of the earth moving equipment are two. Caterpillar in the USA and Komatsu in China, in Japan. Now I have been told that some other group has come up in China. There are not many. So if you are after industrial machinery, how do you advertise? Advertise to whom? You know there are few of them. When they advertise, who comes? Middlemen, businessmen. They are the ones who come and sell you something which is made in one or two factories where you can go yourself. And they add now money, a profit for themselves. Or they give you substandard equipment. The manufacturers are not going to be reading this paper of yours, Monitor. To look for advancements. A manufacturer of equipment like this one we are going to buy, how will he read Monitor? That he has read Monitor and he is going to compete to come here. He will not come. You are the one to go. You know who is making this equipment. You are the one to go to him. It's like military equipment. How many people are making jets in the world? When I want to buy a Sukhoi, or I don't advertise because I know who is making it. Or if I want to buy an F-16, the American one. So, these two players, the civil servants and the confused politicians, have sort of delayed us, but really now we are determined and we have had discussions. We are going to move. So therefore, I call upon the whole of the political class, especially the NRM supporters and the civil servants, to help us get out of this endoro, was it endoro? Endoro, sleeping. But mundoro, that's how we say. Mundoro, is that sleeping? Okukwebaka? Okay. Now, therefore, I want to remind you that our present struggle, as Museveni told you, I want this economy to jump from this 55 billion where we are now to 550 billion, and it can do it. Now, Museveni said they have checked and they have found who did it and who did not do it. They will brief us. In order to do that, there are the 4 dimensions. Dimension number 1, what we have already started. Abakorere kidabo kyonka, the ones who work only for the stomach and not for the pocket, must be persuaded to join the money economy. All the homesteaders must join the money economy. When we involved the UPDF, they were able to move from 68% who were outside the money economy. We are now remaining with 39%. These are the ones we are struggling with now, with the PDM and with the Myoga. So that's the dimension number one. That one must go on. Now, when all these join, what you're going to get is a lot of raw materials will be produced. You have already seen with coffee, we have moved from 2 million bags to now 8 million bags. And we are aiming at 12 and 20 million, and we shall achieve them. So therefore, that's where the second dimension comes in. Value addition. Value addition. That's why I'm happy to hear the person who spoke from Busoga here, the sugarcane growers who are already being supported by UDB. That's good, because they will not produce only this sugar for chai, but they can produce ethanol, and I'm glad that you are moving to blend it with the petrol. They can produce animal feeds for cows. The sugar industry here can enable us to have a very powerful dairy industry in Busoga, where people have got a few cows, 8 cows or so, zero grazing, fed with the grass, but also with the byproducts of sugar, because it has got a lot of energy in it. So that is the second dimension. The third dimension is expanding and deepening the services sector, tourism, hotels, entertainment, and all of that. But professional services, doctor, instead of going to be operated in India, those are professional services. And then dimension number 4 is this one here, the knowledge economy, where you use skills and innovation to produce products. So we have been funding these efforts. But initially, of course, we had a disturbance from the Ministry of Finance because they were not really supporting them fully. We were getting problems. I had, for instance, Dr. Muranga. I've been with her for a long time. I send her, they give her small. But why don't you give her enough money, what she wants? And, money. But you are squandering, you are losing much more money by exporting unprocessed coffee. You are losing billions of dollars each year. Why don't you see that? That's a big loss by, is it something called opportunity cost, something you lose because you didn't. It's very high. When you export unprocessed raw materials, instead of finished products, you are losing a lot of money. Then you have Auditor General. The Auditor General is auditing. Why don't you audit this value which is lost? Why have you never reported it? Auditor General is just reporting nothing here, nothing here. It's really so annoying. So annoying, you almost want to, our background, the other side, before we came to put on ties, it's so annoying. What are you auditing? You are losing, when you export unprocessed coffee, you get $2.5 a kilo. That same kilo if you add value to it a bit more, you need a bit more to get the same kilo. But you end up, you earn about $40. And you are losing that every year. And that's no problem to Auditor General, no problem to our committees of parliament, committee of economy, committee of, what are you? Why don't you see these laws? And especially if some old man like me, I keep telling you, and you have seen what other countries have done. A country like South Korea has nothing. It doesn't have the resources that Uganda has. They are using mainly intellectual labor. So therefore, I appeal to everybody concerned to wake up. You have heard what the man from Chicago or from some place was telling you, that the transport economy is worth $17 trillion. That's what he said. $17 trillion. Africa is getting none of that. All that is going to other people. Now, within the knowledge economy, there is the pathogenic economy, which Museveni knows about. And I was glad I had somebody from, I think he's a Mukedi. Somebody was talking about biotechnology. Who is this one? Let me see him again. Come. Introduce yourself. Who are you? Why do you sound informed? Africans are not supposed to be informed.
Your Excellency, my name is Paul Sigombe. I'm an agriculturalist, but I'm now...
You studied agriculture?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Where, Makerere?
Yes, Your Excellency.
And where do you come from? I
come from Busia.
Busia? Abasami?
Numusami.
Abasami bavire Mondoro?
No, me, I'm not Mundoro.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
You are the only one who is not Mundoro.
That's very good.
Thank you very, very much. Now, thank you. So my team, better not that man. Omona, that man, you note him and call him for me. Because what he was saying is very, very crucial. Because if we are going to export our products, we must ensure that they don't have too many of these chemicals which are used to kill pests. We already have one of our people, Dr. Kahwa, who is developing a vaccine against ticks, where the cow will be vaccinated and the cow kills the ticks. Any tick which bites the cow dies. The cow, instead of being a victim, will be a hunter of ticks. That will do away with all of these chemicals which every week in Exosoractura, I must put the cows in those chemicals, in the deep. But if we can have a biological way of dealing with the ticks, it will be very good for the quality of our products, our milk, our beef. So that man, the idea of getting bio solutions. You remember when we had this echido ekyokunyanja, the water hyacinths. That water hyacinths had become a problem. It had clogged all the bays near Entebbe, and even here at the dam, I used to see it. We went to South America. We got akauka, a beetle, an insect, which just eats the water hyacinth. That's how we got rid of it, by using an insect to eat the chido. Cleared it. I hope my people preserved the insect. They didn't forget about it. So the biological solutions are very good. So I'm very grateful to Irene Birungi. She's one of my staff. Stand up and they see you. She's one of my staff. She's the one who has been following this. And she links up with my daughter, Barbara, and then my other daughter, the one from Buikwe, you know those Buikwe people? This is Aisha now. The Aisha Kasoro. They have been very active in the forum, and they help the government at no cost to the government by bringing out the loopholes in the government system, the gaps and the mistakes and the distortions. Now we have given the list to the Prime Minister. We are going to discuss it, and we shall come back to you within about 2-3 weeks. We shall come back to you. We shall deal with each item. We shall deal with each item by item, each problem. Now, but some of the issues are clear. I can straight away say those which don't need much discussion, like the offtake. If you make the electric buses, the government will buy them for institutions. We'll buy them for the schools, for the army, for the... we shall buy them for the government institutions. Now, on the data sharing, the data sharing, you heard how somebody said, bitukoya. Okuva mu kitongole kino n'ogenda mu kiri bakusaba byebimu. Why don't those departments share? I now direct the Prime Minister to ensure that these departments share data about business. Should order them because they like to be emperors. This one is an emperor here, this one is an emperor there. But now the Prime Minister is going to make sure that they share that data. If they have information about this one, you don't have to go to all those URA, Investment Authority, then from there to Minister of Trade. Then they should share. Get in touch with the Prime Minister and you guide her how you want it to be done. Because these are not secrets. What are they hiding? The UDB lending below 10%. Yes, it can be done because the inflation rate now has come down. In other parts of the world, people are suffering with inflation. You can check. All of them are bad off. Atena Bagamba, you remember I told you, when people were panicking, subsidized fuel. Fuel. Abantu bagenda mu night club nimbakwatirako. Bagenda mu bikeesa. Akasente kenandibadde nteeka mu Kiira ninkateeka mu fuel ey'okugenda mu night club. Nze ndi muyeekera. Ebyo ekitali mu magoba sikikola. Now you have seen, inflation now is, I was seeing it's now 3.9%. You check on your internet. It must be among the lowest in the world. You go and check. Oh, there's no wheat. Wheat, you eat muhogo. What do you want to? I don't eat wheat, no, at all. I don't eat bread myself. I don't eat bread. I don't eat rice. I am if it's not coming, you eat our muhogo. You see, I am here. I'm now going to be 79. Ndiku muhogo. Nakalo. Recently, I was in Serbia, and me, when I travel with my own food. Syria, bibi wanabinda abarya ibyo mu nyanja simanye biki bya nze mbere mu rukora se ibyo sibiria. So I was in Serbia. I was eating my kalo, and the president said, "What is this? What are you eating?" I said, "Your Excellency, I am eating jakalo." Nkuweko said, "Okay." The man enjoyed the kalo. Africa, simanyi buli kijja kibatwala. It's really terrible. Africa. Nova kumereyo. What's wrong with millet? Is the richest food on earth. If you say you have got scientists here, they can tell you that millet has got protein, carbohydrate, iron in one food. There is no other food which is like that. Now coming to Rebecca said she was going to work on raw material, intermediate product. I thought that was clear, that raw material would be the one to come in at 0%, zero tax. Intermediate product, 10%. But that is if we are not making them here ourselves. If we are making, for instance, at one time, whenever I would visit this, the steel factory which was here, the one of casements. In the very beginning, they were importing what they call steel billets from Zimbabwe. I remember in the very early days. But later on, they started making the steel billets themselves. So, if we are making the raw material here, why do you import it? Number two, if we are making the intermediate products here, why do you import it? We should agree that, yes, even the raw materials should come in zero tax as long as we are not producing them ourselves here. But if we are, why do you undermine us? And how about the intermediate products like the steel billets? Because steel billets are intermediate products. But we shall discuss all that. Right Honorable Rebecca will follow it up and we shall discuss it. VIP status, ako kantu katono. Mutuwe list y'abantu abatutumufu ennyo, give to the Prime Minister, bemula bamwe, kati abakatwe nabo bobanaje tunaffe tuli VIP, enamba yinza kutuyitirako. Naye mmwe abali mu kintu, mutulagirire nti ono ye mututumufu ddala, ono ye katongole ono ye. Then we shall give them VIP status. Now, swapping the land, I didn't get the issue well. The one of the forest, there's a forest here. The man from Kamuri was saying, waliwo ekibira obeera okoba ki? Did I get you nti waliwo ekibira mwagala mukifule industrial park ekibira tukisengule tukitwala awalala ekyobeera okoba koba olusoga ndwenda ino.
Your Excellency, wano waliwo ekibira Mutai Forest Reserve, part of which was degazetted to have this industrial park.
So you want to degazette all of it, and will you give me alternative land for ekibira somewhere?
Your Excellency, Kamuli District Council yaikiriza okutuwa Chige tuize ekibira industrial park.
Chige yange ate. Chige is my citrus. Siwendimira citrus how?
Yeah, citrus I tulikusubira okutamu macadamia and avocado to replace the trees. Ate nga n'ekige baba ya kyabazinga.
Whether kyabazinga or not, whether kyabazinga or not, it was for fruits.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Now this is a kibera, which is a different role. Get me some other land, not Chige, whether it is central government or whoever uses it should use it for maybe another industrial park there linked with the, not for Chivera. Chivera, get us some other land.
Your Excellency, we can work around that as
Please,
long as the
if you get me alternative land, then I will work on to negotiate this one.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
But I need alternative land for Chivera, not Chige. Chige is for
citrus fruits.
Citrus or any other land use which is around value addition.
We can organize that, Your Excellency. President Yakobye, aida kuikiriza
okuwa.
Thank you.
Now, there was somebody I think who did not understand our decision. Recently, I banned the export of timber. I didn't ban, I said nobody should export timber, which is unprocessed wood. What I want you is to so if you are a furniture maker, that's what you want. You need the timber to make the furniture here. So that if you want to export, you export the furniture, not the timber. Now, when it is coming from Congo, I think that one also we should persuade our Congolese friends to make furniture, because that one will be a loophole. They will take our timber, claiming it is coming from Congo. That lack of vision is what I cannot support. That State House, which we built in 2007, the furniture there is all imported. Can you imagine? That's how I called with the controller who was there that time. How can we sit on imported furniture here in Uganda? You don't make a plane, you don't make a computer, you don't make a dagara, you can't even make furniture. Ugo korachi. What sort of people are these? Eh? Then they say we are experts, we are this. Experts of what? Of ignorance? So that's why I cannot support the export of timber and import furniture. No, convert the timber into furniture and export the furniture to those who don't have trees, like in You can imagine people are importing furniture from Dubai, a desert. Abo musenyu, baguza abo mukibira, Entebbe. Do you think God will? Do we have some religious people here? Because I hear that God punishes those who don't use their talents. This is the story which my daughter Patience has written what she was calling Esau's curse. Esau, the one who didn't know how to protect his rights. God blessed Jacob, the thief. You know, Jacob was a thief. He first stole something from him, the other one. Then he stole the blessing of the father as the firstborn. And he was blessed. God blessed the thief because the inheritor did not care. I don't want to be cast like Esau, please. Now, Prime Minister, omusaada okuva Mbale akobye nti industrial park y'Embale esosola abana Mbale tebaguza byebakola eri. Now you come in and let them have a sales office there. The man of Mbale, what are these which they deny you and bring to Kampala? Omugisu, where is he?
Your Excellency, all the production which
example, I'm just interested in some examples.
The products which they are making there, they are making flasks, TV, electronics.
Oh.
So they are not selling to Mbale.
Oh, no. Prime Minister, please. Prime Minister, let them have a sales office for Mbale.
And Your Excellency, on timber, which I talked about importation, that since we want to put our environment in order, there are some timber which we get from Congo, which is mahogany, which we don't have it in Uganda. So I was saying, in Uganda, we can even export wooden tiles.
No. If you import it from Congo to use it here, I support you.
Yes, sir. We are using it here.
But when you export it, you re-export.
No, we don't export it, sir.
If you import it, then use it. I have no problem. But don't re-export it.
That we had requested that since we don't have mahogany here, maybe the taxes they reduce on it to enable us to import it so that the price is fair, Your Excellency.
Or they tax the mahogany?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, that's a raw material. Why are they taxing? It was wrong in the first place. Prime Minister, you have heard that. Talk with that Mugisu man about importing timber from Congo. Now, Aisha has said, and I totally agree with her, that please, ndowooza omulamu akoba atumula nti bw'oba tomaiti ekintu kivuemu. She said, if these officials don't understand business, they should not be in those meetings. And I totally agree. It's not fair for people who don't know, because we are talking about industrialization. Now, for industrialization, you need either industrial engineers or business people. We don't need administrators. They should not be in those discussions. So those who deploy people, please deploy people who have the capacity to understand, because you waste the time of our private sector to have to interact n'abantu abatayidi omulimo gwe baliku. That's a very good point, which the government people should take very seriously. I'm very happy to know that our Karamojong young man and his friend, they are now manufacturing solar batteries and also making motorbikes, electric motorbikes. That's very good. I want more information on this. Give it to my staff, because I want to see how to support them, and I can even come and commission that project. But I need to inform the audience that we are getting now 2 factories of cement in Karamoja, in Moroto. I got one group, I think they are Chinese, who want to build a cement factory at Nadunget, near the airfield there. And for them, they are going to use the iron ore from north of the mountain. And the Prime Minister should get in touch with them, make sure they get what they want. They want a dedicated power line. And I think they also want a better Maram road from Rupa, where the limestone is, to the factory. A power line and a good Maram road. So follow it up. Mbanchaliao, that's how Africans speak, because they are never in a hurry. But I'm going to say, an Indian comes. He says, I want to build a factory in Karamoja. Where? The good thing, he was not competing with the Chinese. He wants to build the cement factory at Katkekire. Katkekire down there, south of the mountain. So he also you need to check, Prime Minister, for him, whether there is a reliable power line to Katkekire and also a good Maram road to go there. So now we are going to have 2, because these other cement factories have been importing what they call clinker from outside and adding it on here. Chiringa ngabali abaguro mwenge bigere ne bagusika. Kati bano bawede baleta clinker from outside and roast and burn it. So now we are going to produce all the clinker we need ourselves, using those 2 factories in Karamoja. I'm very glad to hear about the hydrogen, the one Msenero talked about. So therefore, I want to conclude by thanking the organizers of the CEO Forum and this presidential forum where I interact with the business sector. And Irene in my office has been following it up. This is a very good arrangement. I will always attend whenever you organize. Because I get free consultancy. Why would I refuse free consultancy? Abantu bankolera omulimo ndina okubasanyukira nti mwebale nnyo okunyamba. When you decide where to go next time, it's biennial, every 2 years.
Your Excellency, the last retreat, which was in Chove, you agreed that we make it a quarterly meeting.
Quarterly,
So, yes.
That's too much. Half a year.
Right now, we are doing a biannual, so we can as well continue with the biannual.
Biannual means...
Twice a year, Your Excellency.
That's not biannual, that is 2 times a year. Biannual means 2 years.
No, we meant twice in a year.
Oh, okay.
So every after 6 months.
Half a year?
Yes.
Okay, let's maintain half a year. Every quarter will be too much.
Thank you, sir.
Half a year. So I want to thank the Army, Lieutenant General Mugira, and his group. Maybe they stand up if they are here. NEC, where are these NEC people? Abaneka abali wano, mje wano maso tubalabe. Njoo mbele hapa tuwaone. You see you can stand there in the shade, Maybe you go on the microphone and introduce yourself so that the people, these civilians, can see the potential that they have. You go to the museum and introduce yourselves. What you do in NEC.
Lieutenant General Yoweri Museveni, I'm the Managing Director, National Enterprise Corporation.
That one is a lawyer.
Major General Sabit Muzei, General Manager, Yoweri Industries Limited.
What's your qualification?
Biochemist.
He's a biochemist.
I'm Engineer Bohanda Brian, the General Manager in Construction Works and Engineering Limited.
Engineering in what?
I'm a civil engineer.
Okay.
Major Chauffeur Paul Arthur, an electrical engineer, and I'm the head of the electrical works here.
Very good.
Your Excellency, I'm Katongana James, Public Relations Officer.
Oh, you're poco.
Sir, Major Engineer Geoffrey Kaima, I'm a registered civil structure engineer. I'm the site engineer here, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, I'm called Lieutenant Martin Ashawa, mechanical engineer, NECO Works, and I head the mechanical works here.
Very good. So you can see that your children are educated, they have all the capacity, but the problem has been the backup, the utilization. They are not used. They are not used. This has been the problem. So if really the whole system works up and understand our original point number 5, building an independent, integrated, self-sustaining economy, they will do it. These people are educated. We already have a very good educated workforce. but they don't have any backup. It's a struggle. So this backwardness of Africa is really leadership made by the leaders who don't see far. Thank you very much. Now with these few words, I thank you. What do I do with the forum? I open it or close it?
Your Excellency, you will take a seat. There's a couple of activities before you sign on the documents there. But you're closing the biennial retreat, the fourth biennial retreat.
I close it now or I wait?
I think you wait, Your Excellency.
Let me wait.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I want to invite Ms. Irene, I think you want to run us through. We have certificates we are going to award to some stakeholders by PCF. Please come, Irene. We'll request the Right Honorable Prime Minister to award our stakeholders.
Your Excellency, sir, we thank you so much for once again giving the private sector the platform to be in position to exhibit the potential that they provide to the economic development of this country. Your Excellency, as you have deployed us to come and do the work of mobilizing the CEOs so as to enable them interact directly with government through the ministries, departments, and agencies. So all the achievements that were mentioned before were not done single-handedly by the Presidential CEO Forum. So we wanted, first of all, to appreciate the local participants, those who have been able to engage and give us room to visit them actually at their site of operation. And this is the only way, Your Excellency, we're in position to compile the primary data that informs the position papers that later on inform the policy papers. So I'd want to recognize a few of these private sector participants. I would want to start with Zero Way Agriculture Agro Business Training Association, if they're here present. We would also want to see Mutuma Commercial Agency. We also want to present and recognize Kiira Motors. We also want to recognize Tembo Steels. We want to recognize Zembo, Steel and Tube, Roofings, and also as we see them work to receive these plaques. And it is really in cognition of supporting private sector CEO Forum to champion the conversation in this nation through the socio-economic transformation agenda. We also want, Your Excellency, to mention that we have had several issues that have been presented to your departments, head of departments, and they have sorted these issues in a space of either 1 day, 2 days, or a week. And this reduces on the traffic of several private sector in request to come and meet with you, Your Excellency. And so we would want to recognize Uganda Revenue Authority. We want to recognize Uganda National Bureau of Standards, if present, but also want to recognize URSB. Please, those who have received plaques, stay behind for just a group photo. URSB, Your Excellency, because we had the Eastern Region Conference, we did a pilot on 25 women who are operating under OWC in Iganga. And we found that one of the biggest hurdle or bottleneck was how can they be in position to access certification and be in the knowledge of knowing how they can champion their business. So we worked with Uganda URSB, who supported us with these 25 ladies to receive certification in just a week. But we had to first do a workshop in Iganga, and they're now equipped with knowledge. So that's the reason you will also have a group photo with them for purposes of ensuring that for every regional CEO forum that we conduct will be able to look out for such groups that need support on legal issues that are even provided by PSFU at a pro bono service. So the other participant, I don't know if URA is here. URSB is here. Export Promotion Board has also supported us in profiling and getting some information on the normal products. But also most important, Your Excellency, is the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, as well as Minister of Trade, because everything that we do with the private sector really is in line with Minister of Finance, Minister of Trade. So we thank you so much. They will get a group photo, and then the 2 plaques for signing. The one is the biannual now that you have guided us. We'll do the half-yearly CEO forums, and the next one will be in the north, and we'll have it in Gulu. We will be guided by you, Your Excellency, where you'd want the venue to be. Then the other one will be the Presidential CEO Forum Trade Legal Desk. That is what we have labeled it. Thank you, sir.
Very shortly, we will have different group photos, and we are going to arrange that. The President's team will be handling the setup for the group photos. But first, we are going to put the plaques, which His Excellency the President is going to sign. He will first sign the plaque that speaks to the regions. So the first plaque, Your Excellency, is on the regions. I request the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the First Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Trade, the Chairman PCF, and the Honorable Member of Parliament for this area, the area Member of Parliament, if you can also be to represent this region. We will get you a mic. The area members of Parliament, my apologies. I know there's a woman member of Parliament. We'll get you a mask on your way. There should be a team to the MPs. And please note that for all the categories, for the group photo that will happen a short while later, you will need a mask. If you don't have one, we'll find you one. There is one. Honorable Minister, there is a mask there. As we do this, I want to request the protocol team to handle the chairs for the big photo. So that very first plaque is the launch of the regional private sector retreats with the private regional players, private sector players in those regions. And that began, and this is beginning here in eastern Uganda, and as you've heard from the coordinator, we will be moving to northern Uganda, to Gulu. We want to thank Your Excellency for launching. The second one, Your Excellency, is the board where you're signing the trade legal desk, the signing of the trade legal desk. Again, the coordinator did highlight some of the activities therein, and I'm requesting URSB, Mercy, URA, Patience, and the Iganga women, they should come closer. The Iganga women, please come closer. You will have a group photo after the signing. But Mercy, Kenowisho, and Patience, URA, you need to be here for this particular photo. So Mercy, Your Excellency, Mercy is coming. Your daughter, your Muzukuru, Mercy, is coming. And your other Muzukuru, Patience, is coming. And I think on her behalf, Your Excellency, I want to thank you for appointing her to another bigger office, which we can't mention at this time. All right, so the women, you're going to go on the side for the photo. These are the women entrepreneurs, Your Excellency, that the coordinator spoke about. The deep stick that was done by URSB on the support these women need for traceability. And we want to appreciate the 25 who managed to represent the others that are here from Iganga. And these are your entrepreneurs under OWC, Your Excellency. Again, we want to thank you, Your Excellency, for gracing this. Now, finally, may I request all the honorable ministers to join? We're going to have the group photos now. The honorable ministers, if you could join, we'll have a photo. The honorable ministers. The first photo. The rest of us can come back. The women, please come. We'll only keep the ministers and the chairperson and vice chair of PCF. So the very first photo as we organize is with the ministers. President in the very first photo. I want to request the NEC team. I think this was a special request. You'll have a photo with His Excellency the President. So General, if you allow me that. All right. So since he mentioned that. So the first team is the ministers and the board of PCF. Yes, and Edward should join you, the keynote speaker. Please join this photo. Yes. So the very first photo is the board of PCF with the ministers. We'll ensure you all have masks as you join for this photo. And then that's the very first photo. The next photo is for the e-mobility players. And I saw all of you, so don't come if you're not in the e-mobility space. Huh? So NEC will be the next one since they are ready. It's very easy to organize NEC. Your Excellency, we are adding NEC to this photo. So NEC, thank you very much, board, PCF board, thank you very much. Your Excellency, this one is with NEC, your team from NEC, and immediately after that we'll have the e-mobility team. So e-mobility team, if you could get closer. Thank you very much, NEC. E-mobility, Your Excellency, these are the people who are pushing the e-mobility conversation across the country. We have a lot of young people involved in this sector, and this conversation was really about them and how we are able to facilitate them. And we shall provide masks for all of you who are joining, so please have your mask on if you're joining for the photo. All right. This, Your Excellency, is the e-mobility team. These are the people who are driving the production of our electronic vehicles and the components of that and the new technologies space, all right? And finally, the MDAs, the heads of the MDAs who are here, please come. The heads of MDAs, very quickly, the Excellency has just one. Heads of MDAs, we have URA here, URSB, ERA, UEGCL. Your Excellency, the generators are all here. Uganda Electricity Generation Company, Engineer Harrison is here. NEMA is here, Your Excellency. Professor Kwesiga from URI, as your very own. Uganda Export Promotions Board. Your Excellency, all the key players in this conversation we are having today are here. Of course, NPA, UDB, Uganda Development Corporation, and our very own PSST. So all these are the key government agencies and departments. Investment Authority, Uganda Development Bank, NSSF, Your Excellency, all of them are well represented in this photo. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We appreciate Your Excellency for joining us. We'll all be upstanding now, ladies and gentlemen, for the anthems. But first, Your Excellency, you have to close. Then we have the anthems.
Yeah, before I close, I need to point out that the 40 billion for Kiira Motors to finish here, we shall get it. I've already talked to the minister. We shall get it by hook or crook. Now, regarding the price of electricity, I forgot to touch on that. This was caused by the mistake of Jagari. Behind my back, some of our people agreed with the very expensive money. Otherwise, electricity from Narubare is now 1.2 cents per unit. Electricity from Kiira is 1.2 cents. The one from Isimba is 4.8 cents. Karuma 4.8 cents. The one which is causing all the problem is Bujagari, because it was 13 cents. They helped. They removed the tax. Otherwise it would be, they helped. They removed the tax. Otherwise it would be now 11 or what? What would it be? Nankaviru.
It would still be at 12.3
yes,
cents.
This is the one which is stopping us from reaching the other one. These are mistakes. Anyway, Katonda Jari. Chibumba Kaliwo.
Your Excellency, now you can close.
I now close and completely close the CEO forum's meeting.
We'll now remain standing, ladies and gentlemen, for the anthems in reverse order. We want to thank Your Excellency for joining us for this fourth biannual retreat in Eastern Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, we will, of course, remain standing until the principal has departed. But I want to request that you stay with us because we have provided lunch. And so lunch is going to be served immediately after this in the same facility where we were earlier this morning for breakfast. We want to request that you allow our dignitaries, the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the First Deputy Prime Minister and the ministers depart, and thereafter we will join them for lunch. The networking continues, the conversations continue, and you may not find another opportunity where you find all the key players in the government agencies and departments in the same room, so you better use this opportunity while you're here. But we want to thank you all on behalf of PCF. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much. And you'll be ushered to lunch. The team will usher you to lunch. And the conversations will continue. We thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We want to appreciate the support of the Ministry of Finance in broadcasting this retreat on UBC and all the stakeholders who have been able to make this a success. So we'll wait for the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the First Deputy Prime Minister to depart with the Honorable Ministers, and then we'll be